Yes, now is
Kevsar, you can please start.
okay. Yeah, dear EATSA family and friends and the supporters, it is our great honor and yeah, to welcome you to this special seminar as part of the International Women's Day celebrations recently. Actually, it was last week, but we had this event today. We gather to recognize and celebrate the invaluable contributions of women in tourism academia and to inspire the next generation of researchers who will shape the future of our field. For those who may be new to our community, actually here generally the participants are from our EATSA group, but for the ones who will listen our seminar from YouTube later, I would like to introduce EATSA, Euro-Asia Tourism Studies Association. We are more than just an academic organization, as we always said. We are a bridge connecting Asia and Europe, actually bringing together scholars, industry professionals, and practitioners in tourism and hospitality. Our mission is to advance collaborative research, innovative practices, and meaningful dialogue that transcend borders, creating positive change in the tourism landscape. And EATSA, we believe that tourism is not just an economic activity, but a powerful tool for fostering cross-cultural understanding, inclusivity, and peace. And one of the core values of EATSA is inclusivity, and this extends to our commitment to supporting and empowering women in academia as well. We are proud to have a board that is predominantly composed of women who bring diverse perspectives, expertise, and leadership to our organization. And all these members' dedication and vision have been instrumental in shaping EATSA into a vibrant and inclusive community it is today. At the same time, we are deeply grateful to our male members whose unwavering support and collaboration have been essential in creating opportunities for us, for women to thrive and be more visible in academia. So we would like to thank to them to give chance to make us more visible in academia. So today's seminar is a testament to our shared commitment to fostering dialogue and inspiring the next generation of researchers. We are privileged to have with us a group of remarkable women speakers, both senior and junior researchers, and who will share their insights, experiences, and visions for the future. And their stories are not only a source of inspiration, but also a reminder of the transformative power of diversity and inclusion in academia. Also, before we proceed, I would like to share some striking findings from recent research on women in academia, which also underscore the importance of today's discussion. A 2023 study published in Nature revealed that while women now make up nearly half of early career researchers globally, they represent only about 30% of senior academic positions. So this disparity highlights the persistent barriers women face in advancing their careers, including unequal access to mentorship, funding, and leadership opportunities. Another compelling study from the Journal of Higher Education Policy and Management found that women in academia are more likely to engage in interdisciplinary research and collaborative projects, which are critical for addressing complex global challenges. However, their contributions are often undervalued, with women receiving less credit for co-authored work compared to their male counterparts. Perhaps one of the most striking findings come from UNESCO report 2022, which revealed that women in academia are disproportionately burdened with unpaid service work, such as mentoring students, serving on committees. The invisible labor often goes unrecognized and hinders their research productivity and career progression. So the report also reveals a critical issue. Women in academia disproportionately shoulder this unpaid service work. and the task generally essential to institutions, but rarely recognized in promotions or evaluations. So it also hinders the women's research productivity, career advancement, and ability to secure leadership. So women are more likely to take emotional labor, such as mentoring, and also these disparities are rooted in cultural norms and structural inequities, and they persist globally, exacerbated by caregiving responsibilities in many regions. So to address these challenges, we need to call for actionable steps, recognizing and rewarding service work, and redistributing responsibilities equitably, providing support and system, and promoting women in leadership. So in this field of tourism studies, why this matter for EATSA and tourism academia? In the field of tourism studies, where interdisciplinary collaboration and community engagement are essential, and the contributions of women are invaluable. However, if their effort in mentoring, service, and emotional labor go unrecognized, it is not only hinders their potential, also their individual careers. So by addressing these inequalities, we can create a more inclusive and supportive environment that allows all researchers, regardless of gender, to thrive and contribute meaningfully actually to the field. So before we proceed, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all participant organizers and supporters who have made this seminar possible, and a special thanks to Dr. Maduri for her tireless efforts in organizing this event, and to all the male members of EATSA who have stood by us and supported our mission to make women in EATSA more visible and empowered in academia. So let us use this seminar as an opportunity to celebrate the achievements of women in tourism academia, and to learn from their experiences, and to support each other, work together to do world in better environment, to reaffirm our commitment to building a more inclusive and equitable future for all. Thank you, and I look forward to an inspiring and thought-provoking discussion. Okay. We can continue, I guess.
Yeah, I request Dr. Pietro to please continue.
Hey, thank you very much, Madhuri. I would like to welcome all the great speakers who will take the floor today. And I think that I am so honored and so privileged to introduce you all, and I will be do it just before your short addresses or speeches or testimonies. You will be better in name it. But before we start, I would like to say something from mail, I think, because it is important. International Women's Day is 50 years old now. Can you imagine it? It was proclaimed in 1975 to celebrate and honor women. And it was proclaimed to recognize the merits of all women, regardless the national, ethnic, linguistic, cultural, economic, and political divisions, and to encourage reflection on the progress made in the field of women's rights. And this is what we want to do today. But I would like to just share my private thought of International Women's Day. A few years ago, I realized because of the strong women's movement that we are now experiencing in Poland, and I hope that all over the world we feel it, we all feel it. And I just realized that International Women's Day is not also for women, but it is particularly for male, because it allows us men to see things that are regularly invisible for us. And this is that the social and economic life and social and economic system even has been organized by men, and we do not see how privileged we still are. So I think that it is not, as Kessler said, an opportunity for women to speak today, but it is the great opportunity for us men to just listen and learn from you. So I think that it is all from me now. Or I would also say that women in tourism are not important because hospitality is a female issue, they say. For me, it is because in tourism, you have to be anti-fragile, resistant, strong, balanced, and intelligent. And that's why you are here. And that's why it is my privilege to listen to all 5 great speakers today. So let me introduce the first speaker, and the first speaker is Petra Gurac-Nemeth. She is Associate Professor of University of Pannonia in Veszprém in Hungary. Petra, the stage is yours now.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Piotr, and the wonderful organization Maduri, and thank you for the introduction. The words you were saying, Kevser, it was really nice to see something so complex now, and I'm really honored to be asked to talk about these kind of topics. I was always really dedicated for women issues and International Women's Day as well, educating also my son about that one as well. So it's like a personal, but at the same time a professional issue as well for me. So actually, as an associate professor, I thought to talk about one of my researches which could actually connect to this topic, and probably it could raise some issues of careers. And since we are all in tourism and hospitality somehow, I thought that the academic career and the tourism career could be, I wouldn't say compared, but analyzed at the same time, which was one of the goal of our researches. I made a short poster about it. I hope I can share it. We'll see. Yeah, okay, share. Just 1 minute, yeah. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, probably. Yeah, it's a short one. It looks like a flyer, something like that.
Yes, we can see.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So what I would like to talk about is about tourism career, academia, or actually a professional tourism career. I definitely have a personal connection to the topic of tourism and academic as being an associate professor and as a former hotel chain member, hotel employee, and an incoming agent at a Hungarian tour operator and an information officer at a tourist information office. So definitely have a personal connection. We actually created a research group to try to research tourism careers. This research group is from a group of academics from the University of Pannonia mainly, concentrating on the reasons and directions of career transitions among tourism graduates. Since I have a limited time today, so I will just highlight one aspect of this research, because it was more concentrating on why people leave tourism and start a different career. Although it's something like that which will be connected today. We conducted a series of career interviews among our former students. So they were not traditional interviews, but concentrating on their careers, looking at their CVs previously, and then going through their CVs one by one with the interviewees. And these graduates were actually alumni from the University of Pannonia tourism programs. This program has been changed in time. We wanted to find out what are the most frequent indicators and factors which make them leave the tourism industry, or at the same time stay there as well, because we wanted to see what makes them still stay in the hotel industry. Now, of course, today I will talk about some special issues here and some special careers here. We made the interviews with former students who are still working in the hotel sector or tourism sector, or they left the tourism sector. When we went through the names, looking at our list and our database, and went through the names, we actually realized that our colleagues who we work together, we are all belonging to this category because we left the tourism industry and started to work in a place which at first sight doesn't really look so much like tourism, which was academia and university work. So we realized that our colleagues actually belonging to this category, and our colleagues who belong to this category are all women, actually. So we realized that we have to make the career interviews with them as well. And I would like to actually talk about the results of these career interviews, which we made with our academic colleagues here at the University of Pannonia. We started these interviews here, and we can talk about today's session about these kind of interviews. So actually, the background of the research was concentrating on this. When we went through all these interviews, which belong to these categories, we actually realized that all of our colleagues who now teach tourism at the University of Pannonia, Department of Tourism, are actually those ones who left the industry but had several years, several periods of time experience in tourism, but they chose academia anyhow, having good experience with tourism, but at the same time they still left it. We went through their careers, we went through all the phases of their careers, and we wanted to see what were the reasons they left their tourism careers. In their tourism career, they all emphasized that it was a very creative, a very diverse, very interesting work when they worked in tourism. They could use all these skills of what actually Piotr was saying about academia as well, of being strong-willed and resistant, and in my opinion, very much resilient as well. But after a while, something's changed. In a lot of cases, it was a series of unexpected things which was actually happening to them. Most of the time, it was having a family, or moving away, or actually just having some experience, but having a mentor, asking them back to the university, or keeping the contact with the university. But we have to definitely state one thing. They all had wonderful experience at their university years. It was always very important to have a good experience in the first step of academia, so having a bachelor degree. as a first step of academia. All of them had great experiences and great memories of the university. And after a while, they realized that they wanted to do different things, or there were really series of accidents and unexpected things happening. So they came to academia and they never left. Because comparing to tourism, still in academia, as Madhuri said, that it's a Saturday, but we are all actually working somehow in academia today. So we are still doing that, not only in tourism, but academia as well, but a little bit more flexible way of how you are doing your job. And they felt that the work-life balance can be more assured by the academic work. And we actually realized that after talking to all the people who belong to our sample, that in academia, our professional experience is definitely valued. At our university, it is a very important policy at the business school, which has been accredited with AACSB accreditation, and it was very important there as well to have academic experience, to have academic knowledge, publications, and all the requirements of academia, as well as professional experience. Talking to our students about tourism need professional experience as well as academic experience, which we could provide that our most of the women colleagues, because we have 2 men at our department, which is a new record, but at the same time, all the other people are women, and they all have professional experience and academic experience as well. We can still be creative. We can use our creativity here as well as we used it in tourism. We are using our service skills, which are essential for tourism, to being able to provide service and to being able to provide wonderful, high quality service delivery to the guests, which we have to do at the university. Also, we have students who are at the same time our customers as well. And it is definitely flexible. We can be quite flexible with academia, which can be good for work-life balance, to raising children, to have some free time during the summer as well, which is better for families. So actually, there are somehow more questions at the end of the research than when we started it before. So we realized that career transition is not that obvious. And so did we really change our careers? Did we really leave tourism to come to academia? And we are still teaching tourism. We use some of our skills in academia, which we used in tourism when we worked in tourism. So career transition is not that obvious for us anymore. So we definitely continue this research to be able to define what career transition is in tourism. And we have to say that for women, definitely in academia, we have to, this kind of cooperation, which we are doing between tourism sector and academia, is definitely working very well. And we use our experience at tourism, previous tourism experience and academic experience as well, both at the same time. We still have to keep lifelong learning in tourism. Everything is changing, just like in the world as well. It's really changing fast, so we have to keep up with that. Thank you for your attention. This was the very short summary of one part of our research. Thank you for listening. And of course, I would be really open if you have any questions about this or about other academic aspects in case of women. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Petra, for this interesting address. And I think that we will not start the discussion after each presentation or just speech, but we will see how all the speeches complement each other, and we will welcome you for the I would say bigger and more comprehensive discussion after all speeches. Okay, so stay with us till the end of this great webinar. And now I would like to introduce Dr. Dorothea Papatanasiou from Cyprus and European Council member. Dorothea, I think that you can just start now. It's not about me, it's about women today, so the stage is yours.
Thank you, Piotr. I was very moved by the speech. I was very moved by this initiative. Thank you very much, Madhuri Savant, who organized this, our president. And I will take you back 25 years ago to a story. So there was this girl interested very much in tourism. She was even in her studies and was looking for a job. Now, this girl was studying in other countries. This story happened in the north of Greece, opposite of Corfu, around the Pindos Sierra, and that is the least developed part in Europe, not because, mainly because it doesn't have people. So it's the least populated. But it has natural resources, and the governments all the time were looking to improve rural tourism. So for Greece, thankfully, at that time, rural tourism was promoted through the leader projects. Many of the countries that are European are familiar with this. It's about rural development generally. And were set up at the, every region had at least one local and a regional development that took over these initiatives to build infrastructure, to train the people, and keep the story short. That girl was very happy to find a job in such a training that was invited to go there. And she took this challenge very seriously. So she studied the region, came into contact with the people there, the development agency, to learn more. They provided her with studies, boarded the plane, arrived there, and meets the team. So she realizes there is no women in there, only the secretary. So all the meetings, the preparatory meetings, were with men. And she was very anxious to do the job very well, studying at night, writing, keeping notes, amending the training program. The trainee community should be those who have invested and have been supported by the leader to open up or to even renovate old houses. So it was quite an authenticity issue that became tourist accommodations. And she understood that these people do not come really, don't have this mentality, what is tourism, so she has to embed it in that course. And she was very, very welcomed by the company. She was assigned to environmental scientists. He took her around. They studied all the resources. She was writing reports in the night, discussed all the report with the company director. Finally, with a lot of heart beating, the day of the training came. It should be, that was scheduled 3 days. Well, in the first day, she realized that only men came. The room was scattered, was not full. She even presented a PPT. Imagine 25 years ago, not everybody had a phone and not everybody was familiar with technology. So the PPT presentation was her strong, and they have never seen this before in that area. But the room was scattered with bored men. They were visibly bored, and it seemed that they didn't understand anything. So the girl blamed herself. She said, oh, I cannot convey the message that she so willingly prepared and invested. And she was, in the end, she was discouraged. She tried not to show. And in her desperation, she said to the audience, all right, tomorrow we're going to discuss how we're going to design these experiences, because you shouldn't be selling just beds or restaurant places, but you should be selling the experiences. Very discouraged, the girl goes to the director and says, no, I'm not up to the task. Nobody was paying attention. They didn't understand anything, and it was a complete failure. So I think I cannot complete this task here, and you have to replace me. Well, the director was not that discouraged and decided to take matters in his hand. And in the next day, he said to the girl, but I will come too and we will sort it out. So the girl went back, and to her astonishment, it was the room was full, even, you know, cats and dogs raining, something like that. She was very curious what happened, and so was the director. So he said the training started. The director sat among the audience and asked the guy that was there, said, was it so full yesterday? The man answered, no, we were just a few people here. And how come that today are so all these people together? Yeah, we came because she promised to show us how to design bed with experiences. So that was not the message. But nothing much changed in the industry project since then. They are all in the hand of policymakers or mayors who think that tourism is a panacea. The logical investments, for instance, this road has to go through these points because it is the shorter cost for it's less cost because it's short. The mayor thinks no, but through this road, I will not get lots of votes. And I have to say that much of the investments failed for the reason of mentality. So you can imagine who is the girl who repatriated after 24 years. And her first job was in rural development. I decided to say only this story because it is metaphorical for everything that is pretty much happening in this country and in many other countries. Despite the initial will to do things good, many other considerations, policy, political considerations, conflicting interests, do not allow the time invested from both researchers and from the community, and many of these projects are top-down. So the community is not directly involved, so the sustainability and whatever we're discussing is becoming, in Italian there is a nice word, aria fresca, fresh air. So what I want to convey with this story is that not much has changed. The landscape is dominated by policy makers that are men. Decisions are taken by men. The voices of the women, even male researchers here, wouldn't be so adopted, although they have an academic background. And that is why tourism development and sustainability are slowed down. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dorothea. We still see that the picture is not that bright as we would like to see it, especially that's why I mentioned this male perspective, that we need to realize some things, and that's why woman perspective is so important for us. Sometimes we don't just see it because we are privileged too much. So now I would like to just give the possibility to speak for Simona de Cortis. And Simona is our, I think, special speaker because Simona has been working still in the tourism industry, not in academia. And she is now based in Lanzarote, in Canary Island. And I think her speech will be about the battle that female workers has to still carry on for the right in the tourism industry. Simona, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Piotr, and thank you for inviting me to everybody. Thank you very much. I'd like to be brief and to start sharing a brochure voilà, that people here prepared. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so I'm in Lanzarote, in Canary Islands, and I would like to highlight the situation here in hospitality, especially for hotel workers. They are trying to have their rights respected. Instead of talking about war, I'd like to talk about what they would like to achieve. And so I know they prepared these brochures in Spanish, but they are saying that actually tourism in Canary Island brings a lot of money, but Canary society is one of the most poor in Spain. So this is not possible, not acceptable. And the 37% of people here are in the poverty area. So I'm going there. They are protesting outside the Hotel Sol Lanzarote Melilla, and I'm going there and interviewing them to see what they're asking for, to see the way they are living. I'm interested in their well-being, which is the most important thing. We talk about sustainability. Hotels, they show that they are plastic-free, that they respect the planet, etc. But the most important thing, human resources are not respected. They work overtime, more than 8 hours per day, to earn like 1,000 euros per month. And here, the rent for a room is around 500 euros. So if you have children, you cannot work. Some of them, they have 2 jobs. Nobody is listening to them. So I want to highlight it because I think academic people and universities, they have to be interested in human resources and sustainability for people, because tourism is made by people. And as a woman, as Kevzer said, we are able to listen. We are caregiver. We are that. It's our power. It's our quality. And women there, they told me, Simona, we care about tourists. They still work and they protest outside. They're working hours because they want to give a service to tourists. And the majority are women, because it's true, we work in hospitality more than men sometimes, especially they were cleaning ladies and waitresses, the one I talked to. So this is a situation in Canary Island. It's a paradox because tourism brings a lot of money all year long, because here is summer all year long. This chain of hotels, they are gaining more money, especially since last year, but the salary they didn't raise. On the contrary, so they try to contract people, but people cannot work because they cannot live with the salary. This is the problem here, and I really wish that somebody is interested in this subject, because as I said, we need to think about sustainability for people. And here in Canary Island, tourism is not sustainable for workers, for people, for human beings. They are just numbers, and like chain hotels, they are making money, but on the life of people. They have a lot of problems in health, but they don't have the money to go to the doctor. So I really wish that somebody can be interested in studying that, because it's the key to sustainability. We cannot be plastic-free hotel, and then we have sick people, sad people, people with problems in their family, people that cannot stay with their children, people that live in cars, because it's what is happening. They live in their own car and working in a field that is a field of well-being, the field of happiness, the field of beauty, the field of discovering, which is tourism. this really cannot be possible. And this is the case of Canary Islands that I would like to highlight to you because maybe you don't know, and now you know, and I'm here to listening to these people. So thank you to you for listening. Grazie.
Thank you very much, Simona, for just this address. I think it is very, very important because you are witnessing it day by day. So we need to learn from you and not from the CEOs of tourism companies. Your voice is much more important than theirs. And now I would like to introduce, and it is also my privilege, and I really like doing this now. Hanna Łobejko will be the next speaker, and Hanna is a PhD doctoral student from Poznań University of Economics and Business. Yes, the English name is a little bit longer. Hania will also just have the speech about her beginnings in academia. I am happy that Hania and Luis are here because they are just the junior researchers, so the next generation of EATSA. Hania, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Piotr. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be part of this conversation about, of course, women in tourist academia, and a topic that feels very personal to me as a young female researcher trying to find my way in this field. Just before I move on with some reflections, because the first thing when I received this invitation was, what should I tell? Is there something meaningful that I want to share or not? So before I go with the reflections, I will just point that my research focuses on family tourism SMEs in a digital era. Especially, I'm interested in how small family-owned businesses adapt to technological changes and how this affects their place in the tourism industry. So I divided my speech into the three major parts. So the first is where women are. So this is a little bit complementary to what Petra already said about women in academia, and then what challenges we face and why, and finally why our role is so crucial for shaping the future of tourism research. So first of all, I think it is important to recognize what already, so I will just repeat what already Kevser and Petra said, that women are very present and active in tourism academia. Many of the most innovative studies on what Simona said, sustainability, also gender and community-focused tourism are led by women. And this is something that has to be highlighted here. However, when something has a good point and already also has some cons. So when we look higher up in the academia ladder, we still see fewer women in the leadership roles, in the senior professorships or key decision-making position. I don't have to look very far away. I can say that in Poland, when it comes to the president of the universities, most of them are men. However, I'm very proud to share it with you because for the first time in the history of our university, the role of the rector is run by a woman. So now we see the change in the force. Yes, so even though that we as a woman contribute a lot to the tourism research, well, there is still a gap in the recognition and the power. Also, when we talk about tourism, we talk about the cultural differences. So as I'm coming from the Central Europe, I feel that the challenges for women in academia can be very specific to local cultures and systems, and we cannot forget about it. We have to speak about it loudly, that we, as a women, we have to deal with the traditional gender roles and also the limited access sometimes to the international networks. So this is also another obstacle that we as women have to overcome when it comes to the future of the tourism research. And not only that, but there are also other things. I really like the thing that Petra said about work-life balance at the university, that it's a little bit more assured than working in the tourism industry. I do agree, but we live in a world where a success often means constant productivity. And when we are trying to focus on the research, publishing, teaching, and we also, as a woman, have family responsibilities, I believe it is a very hard task to do. So I think that is one of the big challenges that we have to face. Personally, I found that it's not always easy to find senior female academics as mentors, especially in my field. I now know that EATSA has a lot of inspiring women as members, so now I see that it's a little bit changed, but when I see on my close environment, close area, the women are actually in a minority. And then the last thing, which is very, very close to me as a young researcher, I'm not sure about other women, but I think, well, including myself, that we very often deal with the imposter syndrome, that we question whether we are good enough and whether our work matters. This is something that I'm fighting during my the beginning of my career, that I'm trying to prove to the academic environment that the topic I'm pursuing is very important to do the research. And sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in one place and my arguments are not good enough, so I cannot pursue the way of my thinking on the audience that I'm presenting to. So I'm not sure if you can relate to this issue, but I think it's quite common. And the next part is why women's voices matter in tourism. Well, what we already said, tourism is about hospitality. And as a woman, we often focus on the human and social side of the tourism and what how tourism affects the real people, the families, the workers, local communities, and especially women entrepreneurs. Because in my family enterprise research, I see how many of these businesses are run by women and or deeply impacted by the women's work. So it's like the father is the head of the family, but the mother is the neck. So the neck is moving the head. So sometimes we say it in Polish. So yet their voices are very important, but from the broader tourism research, they are not quite visible. And when we talk about the policy discussions, it is quite the same. And the final thing about our voice in the tourism, I believe that our research helps to create more inclusive and sustainable tourism models. So ensuring all tourism benefits, that the tourism benefits all members of the society, not only the big players and the dominant voices. So we give the voice to those who cannot speak, just like Simona said, and I really encourage her on her journey because it's very inspirational. And last thing, which is maybe not very much tourism or academia related, I wanted to share a personal reflection. So when I think about the kind of role model or tutors women in academia need, thinking about all the obstacles and changes we have to face, I often find inspiration beyond the academic world. And for example, recently, I already told it to Piotr once, I was really inspired by America Ferrera's TED Talk. She spoke about she's an actress, and she spoke about the discrimination Latina women face in the movie industry. But what touched me most was how how she talked about overcoming obstacles and building the inner strength, the strength that helps us shine with confidence and shapes how others perceive us. Because the more we are confident, the more the way we speak with our body and mind, the better people perceive us as more professional. And I think this is something that many women in tourism and academia need to hear, that we belong here, that we don't need to shrink ourselves, that embracing our own story is a source of power. And honestly, I think this actress, America Ferrera, would be an ideal tutor for women researchers because she reminds us that the real confidence comes from within, and that's what makes others take us seriously. So to conclude, I believe that although we've made progress, there is still a lot of work to do to achieve real gender equality in tourism academia. But I also believe that by supporting each other, so by creating a network of women who cheer each other up and showing up confidence in each other, learning from the role models, we can create an academic world that women don't just participate, but we innovate, we lead, and we thrive. So that's all from my side. Thank you for listening.
A big bravo, Hannah. Thank you for your speech. Yes, indeed. Academia itself can be a great, how to say it, ground for impostor system to grow and grow and grow and grow. But especially when we talk about women, you don't have to prove that to anybody that you belong to academia and you belong to tourism and you belong to anything. This is ridiculous that we still have this in mind that we have to do it. Thank you, Hannah, for just stressing this for us. And now let's go to Luisa. Luisa Steinbrink. Luisa, I think you are still a student, just a master student now in Karlshochschule in Karlsruhe. I think that you will you will speak about just the student perspective on success in academia and tourism. The stage is yours, Louise.
Thank you very much. I actually have to make the disclaimer that I'm a bachelor's student, so I'm very much at the very beginning of my academic journey. And for that reason, I have actually decided to talk about a topic I have encountered in a different course on gender and globalization, which kind of plays into the point that has been made today, that women are prone to do interdisciplinary work. And it is the concept of post-feminism. I've prepared a small presentation. I have called it suggestions for a post-feminist approach to tourism. I want to clarify that I do not consider myself a post-feminist. I consider myself very much a feminist. I just want to raise awareness to a social trend that has been documented in the social studies that I feel like is of relevance to tourism. And I am very interested to hear all of your opinions and the discussion on how you value this new concept. And yeah, that I was very excited to learn about in my studies, that I felt resonated with a lot of the feelings that I had no words to express. And yeah, so I will try to share the presentation. Can you see the presentation? No.
Yes, we can, Louise.
Okay,
you can go
perfect. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to kind of explain what post-feminism is. It is a very broad term that has been used in multiple areas. I am focusing on the definition by Rosalind Gill. She expresses that post-feminism is a neoliberal sensibility, and that it is the idea that a lot of women feel that it is their personal and individual duty to emancipate themselves, that they and their femininity are something that is dependent on them and their actions only. So it is about improving yourself, and kind of this idea that if you're not treated fairly and if you're not appreciated in the way that you want to be, that it's mostly about you needing to be prettier, more assertive, better, more relaxed, less angry. So kind of this idea that being a good woman and being a feminist is more about what you do alone and not as much about collective action as feminism is. I wouldn't say that post-feminism is inherently opposing feminism. Rosalind Gill herself says that it is a mixture of feminist and anti-feminist discourses. When it comes to post-feminism and consumption, and I would say that consumption and tourism are also very related, as I feel like a lot of people see going on vacation and what they do there as a form of consuming something. It is kind of, I'm trying to look for a relatable example here. Post-feminist women and women who are prone to post-feminist behavior try to consume gender through, for example, makeup or the way they behave, maybe going to a yoga class, connecting to your divine feminine, things like that would qualify as post-feminist behavior. So basically, gender is something that you can consume, you can become more feminine through consumption, and also something you can discard. Also, when it comes to global perspectives on post-feminism, traditionally it is a concept that is limited to white women, privileged women, middle class or upper class white women in the West. But there have been a lot of studies done that showing, even though post-feminist rhetoric might not be directly targeted towards women of color, still women of color all across the globe engage in post-feminist behavior, calling themselves a girl boss, saying that they deserve to dress very femininely because they earned it themselves. That is an example from a Nigerian study that has been done. So basically, the idea of post-feminism is that a lot of women nowadays feel that being a woman and being a feminist is a lot about what they do individually, what they consume, and what they present to the outside, and not as much about collective action. And I have thought about how this connects to tourism. And I found very much that I feel like it is connected to the wellness and beauty industry and wellness and beauty tourism. This idea that people go on yoga retreats to, as I've said before, connect to their divine feminine, that we are selling mental health and confidence to women as something they need to have to be respected, instead of respecting women just as they are. I don't know about the other female participants here, but I am still very much at the beginning of my academic journey, my life journey, but I have started growing tired of feeling like I need to be better, improve myself, make myself fit into situations at all times. And I feel like that is also a post-feminist pressure that has been put on us to a certain degree. I was also thinking about the rise in a beauty and beauty operation industry, people flying to other countries for a vacation to get the beauty transformations they are wanting. I'm particularly thinking about the beauty industry in South Korea here, even though I'm really not an expert on that matter. And this also connects to the idea that through post-feminist ideas that are spread through the internet, the idea of what a woman is supposed to be, independent, but still a mother, and nurturing and beautiful and confident, but not too assertive. It has become very, very globalized, and an issue that not only women from a certain culture can relate to, but women worldwide, which also makes this a tourism issue, as tourism is about people moving from one place they call their home to another place. And yeah, I've checked in preparation for this talk if there's already any post-feminist perspective to tourism in research, and I found two papers that already address this concept, this issue in relation to tourism. One of them is looking at the advertisements for casinos in Macau and how a lot of them present this idea of a girl or a woman making her own money, calling grown women over the age of 18 girls and kind of belittling them in that way is actually also something that is connected to post-feminist ideas and the post-feminist theory. And the other thing that I found that really connects to the talks we have heard today is that when interviewing successful female Slovenian hospitality managers or hotel owners, a lot of them attribute their success to being different from other women and doing more than everyone else, and actually not just being a woman that is good at her job, but what qualifies her is that she is different from other women. And for me, that personally is kind of a not sad, but discouraging idea, because I want to be like other women. I find most women I meet to be very impressive, and looking at the women that are part of EATSA alone, someone I would like to be like. So this idea of needing to express it, you're successful because you're not like other women, kind of, I feel like discourages to seek for female companionship, mentorship, and support. And yeah, that's why I feel like looking at post-feminism and this rhetoric around what women are is very important. And also something that I find within myself that I want to critically deconstruct. But as I've said before, it is a pretty new and controversial concept. So I'm very much looking forward to hearing what others in this panel think and everyone participating in general. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Louisa. It was something. It was really something to hear about post-feminism in tourism. And it was really something I learned a lot of your presentation and the other speeches. So let's go to the discussion. I think that you still have time, all of you, just to discuss about the what we heard. And I would like to hand over the moderating of the discussion to Madhuri, the main organizer of this event. Madhuri, can you just moderate the discussion?
Oh,
thank
you
very
so
much.
much. Thank you so much, Dr. Pietro. And it was lovely hearing from all the ladies, all the young women over here. And especially, I would like to congratulate Luis. We are on the mail since 3-4 days, and she was like continuously asking me, is it good? My presentation is good. But let me tell you, the only one accessory which we women should wear right now is the confidence, right? So the confidently you put up your points, and that was very, very appreciating. Congratulations. And I would like to give a summary of today's presentation, and then we will take the question answers. It could be you all can just on your video and audio as well, and then you can ask the questions. First, I'll give the brief summary of the presentations. Yes, Dr. Pietro, definitely he said this is not a day for women, but it is also a day for men. So I think we can give a round of applause for him. That is a very, very brilliant statement. And he said that they are very much privileged. And as he said that you cannot be being in the tourism industry, you have to be anti-fragile, you have to be resistant. This is the words we want today, Pietro, to hear from everybody, right? We don't want people to say us that, oh, be very fragile, this and that. No. We want to be confident. So thank you for your good words. We had a first presenter, Dr. Petra. Of course, her presentation was very good. She talked on the tourism career, especially on which were related to the research group. And she talked about turnover and how the people are leaving the industry and coming to the academics, right? So she also mentioned about important points like family and career institutions, like how they can go together, and how it is important, even though we are shifting on, even though turnover is continuously going on, how the women are strongly standing and taking care of their family, etc., etc. So it was a very, very good presentation. Then we had Dorothea, the woman past 25 years, and she said that still we are having those problems till date. And she told us a brilliant story of a woman who had faced, problems with, at that time. I think that is again related to today as well, when we talk about women in tourism. And still women are struggling. I coming from India, and when we are talking about rural tourism, it is very important for us to, bring them in the forefront of the tourism landscape, especially for the intangible aspects. And she also mentioned about the policymakers who are men, the mentality, of course. All her speech was revolving around the mentality of the men towards women. That is very important. It was a topic, it is a topic of research which has not taken into consideration since last 25 years. I think in this platform we will make sure that such type of research can be done on mentality, and of course the sustainability aspects as well. Simona, her presentation was brilliant. She was very focused, and she talked about the hospitality industry, the wages, the human resistance and sustainability. Moreover, she was very direct, talking about the socio-economic impact and wages, which are very, very less for the people who are working day and night and to create good experiences. I think when we talk about the socio-economic aspects, a lot of work is, I don't see work which is related to socio-economic impact bracket only tourism. So I think it was a very brilliant speech given by her. Hania, her topic was on SME plus tourism plus technology, a very, very, very innovative topic. And she talked about the leadership and the local cultures. And Hania, let me assure you that you told about the limited access to women to the international platform, right? Here we are, we took an opportunity at EATSA, Eurasia Tourism Studies Association, and we were continuously having meetings. Our president, Dr. Kevsar, and our vice president, Europe, Dr. Pietro, we were talking about how we can conduct this program. And I gave suggestions like we can invite the professors, but Dr. Pietro, he insisted on, getting young researchers, and that is the reason why today on this platform, we can see the professors, we can see the PhD scholars, we can see the women who are working in the industry, we can see senior professors, and also we can see a student who is still working. She is an undergraduate, right? And the way you spoke, brilliant, very nice. So this is EATSA's mission to bring all together, not only women, but also men. And she also mentioned about mentors. Mentors is a very important topic, which I think all the researchers can take into consideration, especially the women mentors. She said that we are lacking women mentors, and if we have women mentors, a lot of things can change. So I agree with you, Hania. And she also talked about imposter syndrome, that is, you all doubt about yourself, whether I'm good or not. This usually happens in our country, in Asian countries. All the women are not very confident. What I see you in Europe, like most of you are here today from Europe, but this is a very important aspect of, not believing in yourself. Okay, not only in tourism, but other fields also. So, and of course, about the entrepreneurship, the way she gave her presentation was brilliant. Yeah, and last one was Louis. Louis, congratulations again. You talk very well on post-feminism and how successful women. She gave so many examples, and how it can be changed. Like, I can see, the young scholars, young researchers, young students, they are having a pretty different mindset. I think Dorothea, Dr. Kevsar, Petra also, you can agree with me that they have a very different way of thinking and doing research as well. I think we should definitely support them, and they are very confident on what they are talking. Okay, even I see my students who are 20, 21, 22 years of age, they are having an absolutely different mindset about looking at women empowerment, looking about feminism. And this is what Louis told about with examples. So with this, invite the participants for any questions. You all can please on your video and ask the questions.
Hi.
Yes, please, Desmond, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Please go.
Are you hearing echoes?
No.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so I'm very impressed with this session here, and I'm really, really skeptical of International Women's Day. This is something I totally disagree with, but this very platform is something I latched on because I see it as a way of empowerment. And that's because I know all the presenters. I see this as a good work. Something I want to mention is this idea of role. I'm listening to all of you, and I'm recapturing this idea of the traditional role of the woman. And this is, let's call it a social, cultural, historical accident that created this role of women. And with that role of women, you have something called expectations. And this is that patriarchal gaze that Piotr was talking about, how we actually moved on to this role. Yeah? And that role and expectation, going back to what Petra and Hanya were saying, how you need to go through this imposter syndrome to kind of realize this is that fundamental contradiction. And we are still stuck in this. Nothing has changed for me. And in tourism, the problem is what is hospitality in tourism? And then if you give it the traditional caregiving role, of women being the caregivers, they are the ultimate provider of hospitality. This becomes a problem because on International Women's Day, we shouldn't be celebrating the subservience of women in a household role. And we should be providing the emancipation and empowerment on a role or roles that go beyond this. So I am very encouraged to see all of your different perspectives because I see a way of surpassing this caregiving role. We should not be celebrating traditional roles, how great the women is working in the industry and providing for 80% of the caregiving services. We should be saying how women can elevate beyond this and basically create new discourses, new constructs, post-feminist, Louisa, and not be governed by aspects of social mediated globalism to make this happen. So anyway, I wanted to say I'm really encouraged to hear this. I see a lot of criticality here, and we need to continue this dialogue. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Desmond. Is anybody having questions?
Yes, madam, can I speak?
Yasmin. Yes, please. First introduce yourself and
Yes,
then please ask.
if I open the video.
Yes, you can.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. First of all, it was very nice opportunity to listen to all this very nice presentations about women. I would also want to ask about the position of mothers. Like, most of women are mothers. Like right now, I'm hearing the presentation and my kid is there crying in the background. So I want to know the position of mothers in the tourism industry and all, like what opportunities can they have, especially that it have a lot of traveling and you cannot always leave the kids and all, and 9 to 5 jobs also is not an opportunity. So for women, most of them sooner or later they become mothers. So I would like to ask about this.
Yeah, so anyone can answer her. She is master student from tourism in our own university, in my university. Yeah, if anybody could just answer her, any of the resource persons. Yes,
I
please,
would.
Petra. Yes.
Actually, I don't know if it is an answer because probably I don't know the exact and final answer to your question. I think it's an ongoing conversation, but the conversation and this discussion should be definitely happening. We are with the research group. We are working on a sustainable hospitality career scheme, which actually tries to make a long-term career opportunity in hospitality, involving the work-life balance and involving and inviting back moms after having birth and having small children. And I actually can relate to your topic, because my son is actually just playing football in the room where I am right now. So definitely I can relate to this topic, and I can only say that we are working on this problem, and we are working together with the hospitality industry in Hungary to try to create something which would maybe help in the case Simona was talking about as well, and all the other women who faced this kind of problem. And probably we can relate to the post-feminist topic as well in that. So we are working on that. This is something which I can say in this phase of it. And thank you so much for raising this question.
Thank you so much, Petra. I think Desmond, he has written something. Where are the men and their contributions in caregiving roles at home? This is a question again asked by a man. So I think, Desmond, you can answer this question if you have some views about it. Okay, I don't see Desmond.
Simona and Luis, I think they would like to share something.
Okay, you are. Okay. Okay, first I'll take one question which has come up, and then they will share. Okay. Okay, first we will take the question of Luis. Please go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to contribute, especially with mothers. I feel like I am far from being a mother, but I do have a mother, and I know a lot of women who are mothers. And the thing that always kind of annoys me is the fact that society is not very gracious with young mothers. I know so many people who dislike the noise of children and that are annoyed if there's a baby on the plane. And I know so many people who decide not to go to important celebrations, to lectures, to conferences, because they have a child with them, a young child, and that in itself is seen as a disturbance. And I feel like, for me, part of us as women being more in the public sphere of life, as long as we do not radically change who is usually responsible for taking care of the child, and it is still something mostly women have to deal with, we also need to normalize children in the public sphere. And it should be okay for a young child to be at a conference, even if it makes noise, and to be around, because they are our future. And if we don't want to see them in the very first years of their lives, why do they want to participate in anything we have to say and do when they grow older? So I think talking about being inclusive to women usually also entails talking about being more inclusive to children.
Yeah, thank you so much, Luis. I absolutely agree with you. We have Simona. She has some views on the questions. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madhuri. I just would like to answer, because I made a choice not to have children because I couldn't work in a tourism field, and my job was traveling like every 6 months all around the world. The society decided when to move me, where to send me, so I couldn't build a family. And even because salaries, when you work in tourism field, the majority of contracts are from third-party company. You don't have an unemployment money when you finish, so you cannot build a family. So it's true that from this side, from tourism workers, it's very difficult to be a mom, and you have to make a choice. And sometimes the choice is not to have a family, not to be a mom. And I hope this thing also can change. So thank you for the question.
Thank you so much for your views. Now we have Antara. Antara, can you please on your video if you can? Okay, I will just read her question. Antara, I'm from MTA fourth semester. What are the specific challenges faced by women from underrepresented backgrounds in pursuing career in tourism academics? Would anybody like to answer?
What does exactly underrepresented means? Underrepresented. Less privileged
Antara, are you there?
or underrepresented?
Hello.
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to brief about my question. Actually, I come from India, so India has a lot of potential for women in tourism role. I truly feel that women plays a vital role in hospitality and tourism industry. Whereas in India, we see women working in different sectors, and we are not truly represented as a major stakeholder for tourism. So how can we actually bring women together, create a network for them, create a mentorship for them, and facilitate in tourism academics as well?
So she doesn't mean less privileged, she means rather sectors that are not presented, and this has to do with, again, with the community mentality. And it is very important that she, thank you for this question. It goes back to the top down or bottom up. How do we want to do development? Do we want to have all the stakeholders represented so that we truly have sustainable development? Or is there a fashion policy that we follow for some time, at least in the paper, and then we miserably fail? Because this is exactly what's happening. Every possibility to network stakeholders, to include stakeholders. First of all, even the best projects with tremendously rich in funding fail when stakeholders are not there. And all the stakeholders, because the stakeholders are those that are going to embrace the project, any project that is in tourism and sustainability, and guarantee for the sustainability. And I think that underrepresentation is an issue for many stakeholders, depending on the country, on the funding possibilities, on the mentality, on the background, and of how these are coming together. Possibilities to network them should be a priority. And I think that a lot, at least in my experience from Europe, is that local and regional development agencies have played a role in consulting. For major projects, they have consultations, they launch consultations, and they try to embrace as much as possible. Not that the problem is solved, depends on how remote, peripheral these communities are, if they are stakeholders from metropolitan areas, if they are stakeholders in areas that have less access to technology, to capital, to other possibilities. But for sure, there is no possibility to have genuine development if people at the given place under development doesn't embrace any initiative that is supposed to help them. It's not from the sector, it's actually from the special education inclusive that says there is a principle there that says nothing for us without us. But I think it is also applied here. So in terms of embracing stakeholder, coming together with stakeholder, create an osmosis about needs and possibilities to development, we could say nothing for them without them. And yes, Antara, you are right, very right in this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dorothea. Yeah, so there are no more questions.
I've got the question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Can I? Yeah, thank you. I've got a question to young researchers. I know Anya's situation, but still I would like to hear, I would like everybody to hear your answer. And also, this is the question to Luis. Do you and why do you want to stay in tourism academia? And to all women, female researchers in academia, I've got also the question, if you could just turn back the time, would you still choose your way and your career in tourism academia?
Is a question for all of us.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I am in my fourth semester of my bachelor's in international relations. So I don't know. I'm very interested in how humans act and behave and where they want to go and what motivates them. And I feel like tourism and where we want to go and what our dream place to be is says a lot about who we are and what moves us. So I'm very interested in tourism. I am very undecided on what I want to do, especially for my master's. I'm also very interested in journalism and actually into going more of a gender studies, feminism perspective, or maybe focusing on the EU. That would also, European studies would also interest me. But that again, all of this connects to tourism. So yeah, I am not prepared to draw any clear lines. I just think especially as a woman, when women move, it's always a little more political, I would say, than when men move and where we go. So I think as a woman, it is very important to have some interest in tourism at least.
Thank you. And Hanya?
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
hello, Yasmin. Yes.
I would like to share why I joined tourism, especially that I am major of architecture. I graduated from architecture, and I chose tourism for my master's because it is not just tourism is not just about traveling. It's all about culture and people, and just like Louis said, how human act and love and eat and pray also, like all these factors come under the tourism in a little commercial way, but also we can take it from the spiritual and thinking way and all. So for me, it is, I will not regret joining this major, especially after I joined. Madam Madhuri was very interesting, give us such interesting points of view to explore and all the time. Also because I am also married to Indian, I'm from Egypt. So this multicultural experience made me more curious about other cultures and all. So tourism was the closest way to study it.
Thank you. Yes, Dorothea, please.
She said the magic word regret. So I will alone. I cannot sing, but Piaf, no, je ne regrette rien. This is exactly what happens with me. Despite the challenges, working with the industry on site and having to still trying to persuade some of them to look through a different glass. I think it was a tremendous it is a tremendous opportunity to get a better person, to become a better person, because you're confronted continually with problems that you have to solve. At least some solutions are expected from you. You have to alert your mind, and you are given the opportunity with first-hand experiences to confront and learn, because through confronting, you're learning a lot. I do agree that it is very difficult for women to spend all this time traveling, because lots of the majority, I mean, the biggest part of the world is on the side. You cannot give a solution from your desk just, reading some articles. It's impossible. The industry wants you there. So you have to be present. And Simona and I share this problem. We didn't manage to do both things because the hours were so, but no, I regret nothing. And I would have done the same thing. Otherwise, I would have been a confined archaeologist, cleaning some things in museums, and I wanted people, and I was blessed to have people all around me.
Thank you. Thank you, Dorothea. Okay. Pietro, shall I go ahead?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, yeah.
If nobody
Okay.
wants to add something, we can
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah, we are running time as well. So I express my sincere gratitude towards all the wonderful women over here who are present for this webinar. I thank Dr. Petra Guraz Nemeth, Dr. Dorothea Papatanaswa, Dr. Simona De Cortes, Dr. Hannah Labako,
Oh, not doctor yet.
Sorry, y'all are not doctors. Hannah Labako, Louis Steinberg, and it is very difficult for me to pronounce Polish words. So that is the reason why. So
But you did very well. You did very well.
Yeah, Simona, Hannah, and Luis, thank you so much for giving wonderful presentation, sharing your experiences. I also take this opportunity to thank all the participants who are present over here, the EATSA members and non-EATSA members, the students who have joined from various universities. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our president, Dr. Kevsar Sinar, for helping all the way for organizing this event. And also, lastly, I would like to thank Dr. Pietro for continuously giving his support to organize this event. And I can see, amongst all us women, he is the male right now, just supporting us. And I also thank Dr. Rajesh Ragde, my husband. So he has a lot of work, but to support me, he is there in this forum. So you really need men, to support you at this some of the occasions. So with this, I think the discussions were very fruitful. And Dr. Kevsar, she is already on her AI to brief about all the presentations. So we will soon be sending the briefings about this presentation to all of you. And let's come together and come up with new topics and cherish ourselves and our womanhood. Thank you so much.